this whole P. Diddy thing. Where are you looking at? You leave me? You leave me?
No, I'm just.
Are you gathering your thoughts?
Well, I'm just glad in life. In life, you and I, on the record, have made very, very poor decisions.
100%.
But man, I'm so glad that some of the stuff that I was not attracted to, like some of the stuff that I just saw and was like, you know something, that ain't me. It's amazing these idiots all want to record it. Now, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with being a little freaky in your own private confines with your own special person.
All right, guys, welcome to an episode of Fully Loaded. I'm here with my buddy Cris Carter. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. How you doing, man?
Good, bro. What's happening?
How was it getting here, bro? It's a little shaky out there.
Yeah, it's a little weather, but you know.
Is the weather or the people driving?
It's Florida. It's a combination of both. Because it's coming down out there. Some lightning and everything.
I know there is. But when I moved here, I didn't realize everybody, they make U-turns. So in Connecticut, you don't have all these, and they'll just pull out in front of you. You be going 70, and then just pull out and do a U-turn and be going 20.
Yeah, they don't anticipate the miles per hour type thing. Yeah, that's a Florida issue. A lot of transplants down here, bro. All of us calling Florida home now.
I hear you, brother. All right, so here's where I want to start, because you and I had talked about this before, just in general about professional athletes, and Raheem Morris. So Drake London got flagged. Well, why don't you tell me, did you see what he got flagged for, what they said was his gun celebration?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, why did he get a flag?
Well, I thought he was far enough off the field, but the way he did it, and there was a referee right there who took offense to it, he called it. Like, it wasn't in the end zone. It was over towards the sideline by the bench and everything.
Right.
But when you look at the type of image of the NFL, and they have a number of years ago banned any type of shooting or any type of cutting the throat. Like, they don't do that in the NFL. You forgot.
I remember.
You haven't seen it.
I think it's stupid that they don't do it. I didn't forget.
Well, I think that when you are as big as the league is, you want to be able to control some of the imaging. And you have not missed anyone getting their throats.
No, I'm fine. I mean, it hasn't changed the football. No, you're right. It's not that it brings any more to the game to me. It's one of those things. You said it well. He took offense to it. That's why he called it. I mean, is there a rule that says? And from an officiating standpoint, is there something that says if you make any gun, whatever?
I think the slicing of the throat and any type of gun gesture in everything, they've been banned from the NFL for a number of years.
But that could have been a big call.
No, it was a big call.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think it was a great.
At the time of the game,
it was a great teaching moment. It doesn't matter though. Like, it doesn't matter if you're shooting a gun in the first quarter or the fourth. Given where we are as a society and everything too, like, I expect our NFL players to be a little more socially aware, socially conscious of what's going on around them.
Okay, so
we got little kids terrified, bomb threats, gun every day in school now. That's the world we live in, bro.
Okay, I'm not arguing that.
So the Monday Night Football game is not a normal Monday Night Football game, especially when it's the NFL on.
But
19 last year, 19 of the 20 most popular TV shows. Guess what they were, bro?
NFL something.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude, I understand everything you're saying. I'm a businessman. I get the market. I understand all of that. I understand little kid. Dude, there's no part of me that doesn't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
What makes me not nervous, what I think about is, where's the line? Like, because you said he was offended because he wasn't in the end zone. I watched it. He could have let him just continue to.
Right.
And the league could have been like, hey, man, don't do that again, please.
Yeah, I'm going to freshen up on my NFL rules, but I do remember those things not being disallowed a number of years ago.
And then why is everybody, the article I read, talked about the coach and his reaction, what they didn't like about, what did people want his reaction to be?
Well, people have this unbelievable ability of putting themselves with very little talent in these situations that people are rare. NFL head coach, there's 32 of them.
Yeah.
And they love to put themselves in that situation and tell people exactly what they would do, even though they've never been in a situation like that before, and they don't know exactly what they're doing, because different moments require a different type of intensity or a different type of wording or messaging. So unless you're there and you understand NFL environments and everything, he reacted in the right way.
That's my point. But what was he supposed to do? What do all these people think he was supposed to do?
They always think they can do your job better than you're doing your job.
But what was he supposed to do? He was supposed to scream and yell and have a meltdown about Drake. And what was he supposed to do? He already got flagged. Like, he got penalized. Like, what do they want the coach to do
This
now?
is the thing. And he's one of the disciples of Tony Dungy.
Okay.
And I think Raheem Morris, his first chance of being a head coach, it didn't end well.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, just like Bill Belichick, the things he did in New England, he did differently than he did in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And I think Raheem Morris, he understands that locker room. He understands his players. He understands the modern-day NFL player. And he's going to react in a more positive way with his second time around being a coach. And this was the opportunity to get one of the biggest wins in Atlanta, Monday night, prime time, on the road, after looking very average in week number 1, to beat Philadelphia. So I'm thinking he was gauging all those situations as far as his team, and I thought he handled it okay.
But so during a game, it doesn't matter the situation. So you're saying, like, it don't matter if it's first quarter, 2 minutes in the game, 0-0, or a tie game where you might push them back for an extra point. Like, they could actually. It
doesn't matter from a teaching standpoint. Can it be more penal? Yes, because right now you need that extra point. That extra point is more important than the first extra point.
Yeah.
Because also,
should the official have some discretion?
This is what people know. He should call the penalty.
Okay.
And I guarantee you every NFL team, because they go around every week and they get clips of other games to show their team. Mm-hmm. And they're showing the team that clip. Just so we're crystal clear as far as what not to do.
Not scoring a touchdown or doing that in front of that many people and millions of people watching. So I don't know the answer, but damn, it's hard to tell people there's a million things you can't do after you score, and you got to be careful. I was watching the game and I'm like, that's not.
But there's not a million things that you can't do. That's not true, bro. That's not true.
You can't.
What? But just tell me how many. What are you doing in your everyday life that would assimilate a submachine gun?
I don't think that he would. I thought he was just celebrating, dude. He's firing up. I don't know. I'm a little kid.
He had 2 hands on it.
Hey, you play video games?
Yeah,
I play video games.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hear you.
I got a handgun. Don't have a rifle. Don't have an AK-47.
I got AKs. I got ARs. I got them all.
Okay, the way that one was clack-a-lacking.
and I don't shoot at nobody. Like, I'm good unless they come shoot at me. But it is. I just was.
And he's a young player. I think he will learn from that. He didn't get penalized from it, and it's a tremendous lesson being learned, and not being the whole team penalized for your mistake.
Yeah, because the whole team could have lost a game from his mistake.
Yeah.
I just thought, what do I know about him? I just thought it would have been a great.
No, it's a good discussion.
Don't do it again.
I'm glad you teed it up.
Don't do it again. I mean, don't do it again. Here's your memo. Don't all met, but I like the way you said it. You got a little fake, and the officials seem to get pretty upset.
Okay,
about
now
it.
Can I talk about something?
You talk about anything you want.
Okay,
literally.
Did you happen to see the move that he put on?
Yes.
Big Play Slay?
Yes.
One of the best corners in the NFL.
Yes.
Dude making.
How could he not be excited? That's even more to my point. He's losing his mind.
I mean, that would make me want to shoot off something.
That's my point. I get it. That's all. You make my point. Exactly.
But
I got it. There's rules.
Let me tell you something. When the place kicker kicks that 50-something yarder as an extra point,
he was like,
guess who was the first one out there to give that dude a hug?
That guy, my man. Why would he not be?
Bruh.
But
thanks for saving me.
Because that could have been ugly.
Yes.
Because that won a chip shot.
You're talking that's a huge win. Huge confidence builder. Kirk Cousins driving them down in prime time.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yes.
All right. John Gruden. So I was reading this week. He's talking about wanting to coach again, whether it's collegiately, wherever. First of all, Cris Carter's opinion on John Gruden coaching football again in the NFL.
I don't think he's going to coach again in the NFL.
Okay. Would you have a problem if he did?
I think that some things are hard to recover from, and I think that given the NFL environment, especially as far as diversity, men, women, basically 80% of the players are minorities. We have female coaches, and I think some of the things that were said in the email is basically who he is.
Got it.
And that becomes hard to put as the head of your organization. So not only is he the head of your organization, he's basically the head of the community. Mm-hmm. And we get all these sound bites of all these coaches every week. It's not all just about football. And I don't think that one of the 32 owners is going to trust that voice ever being John Gruden again.
Got it. Collegiately?
I think that he has even more hurdles to overcome collegiately because the board of directors, you need a lot of things, and not unless he dropped down into a lower level and then someone took a chance on him like that and he decided, but I don't think that's in the cards for him. I think that his ego tells him he wants to be an NFL coach. I don't think that's going to happen.
Got it. And did you ever play for him? Ever play, like he coached you in any capacity, in anything?
No.
Probe, nothing. Just
No.
Never.
No.
Never any interaction with him.
I had some interactions with him at ESPN because he came over and was on the broadcast team doing the Monday Night Football.
Got it. What if you was in the NFL? Would you want to play for him?
No.
No.
I think that John Gruden is definitely one of the biggest phonies in the NFL.
What do you mean by that?
He'll tell you something and then go right behind your back and tell somebody else something different.
Really?
Yeah, he can't be trusted. That comes from coaches that coach with him. That comes from players that play for him. That comes from the players that were on the Super Bowl team. That group there in Tampa that he took over after Tony Dungy. Yeah, all those guys. Those Hall of Fame guys. I've talked to almost all of them except John Lynch. I don't know what John Lynch's opinion, but the other ones, these guys I know very, very well. Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, know Keyshawn Johnson very well, the one he sent home. Yes.
They're all, and I don't know there was a lot of people out defending him when he was out either, like coming yelling and screaming on his behalf. So I guess that says a lot too.
Well, you are how you treat people, and you are what you say.
You are who you are, man. Yeah.
So the number one way to predict future behavior is past behavior.
Correct.
And he said some things that I don't think that a Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 company, like if you were the CEO of a Fortune 1000 company, would you have him come speak to your people?
No.
Oh, okay. So now we're getting ready to give him control
Correct.
of an NFL organization. We're getting ready to pay him $10 to $15 million again, give him all that power again. We're getting ready to put him in the locker room with 75, 80% African Americans and tell, oh man, disregard what he said. Like that's not getting ready.
That ain't gonna happen.
That's not getting ready.
That ain't gonna happen. All right, so the NFL. It's only been a couple weeks, and my buddy sent this to me the other day. So in 2020, the average passing yards over a couple weeks was 240 yards a game. 21 was 228. 22 was 218. 2023 was 218, and we're 193 per game so far. Is in points are down. Is it just that it's early? What do you think's happening with the passing yards?
Right. This is what we have to do with the NFL. Because we have very little physical contact during training camp. You literally have to take, now listen to me. You literally have to take the first 4 weeks of the season. That's the preseason, bro.
All these games we're watching now. First month we're watching preseason football.
You see how different the execution was from week number 1 to week number 2?
Very.
Yeah. Now we're seeing live bullets. Now we're seeing real adjustments. Now we're seeing the best defenses and the best scheme, the best call, like no regard. I mean, all-out blitzing, and you are seeing the maximum amount of pressure people are putting on the offensive line. So now we don't have a lot of padded practices during training camp. So the really best live action is those first 4 games. Where did I get this from? I stole this from Bill Belichick. That's what he talks about with this new NFL. The number of padded practice you can have before you play, the lack of veterans you're going to risk getting hurt before the first game of the season. This new NFL, it's 4 games. Check out these first 4 games. Like, hope your team's not 1-3 or 0-4. If you're 2-2, 3-1, oh my goodness. Then you're going to start to see the real teams start to come together. So don't be discouraged by a slow start, because now we're playing real games and we're going to see what teams are really, really made of. And the teams that can come out of training camp running the football, they have a huge advantage for a number of reasons. Not just because, let's run the ball. Because if you've been able to get that part of the game, Tampa Bay, they're running the football. Surprise 2-0. Who else? New Orleans Saints. Oh, my goodness. Score 15 times in a row.
They're unbelievable.
Running the football. So if you can do that without a lot of practices and do it at a high level, and guess what you're doing when you're running the ball? Guess what your defense is doing? Chilling. Chilling, resting.
Yeah.
And then if you're scoring touchdowns like New Orleans been doing, now you got the lead. So now guess what they say? They can't run.
Nope.
Let's pin our ears back and let's go get this dude.
We know it's going to happen. Thus, you can't throw as well. Yeah.
Right. So those are the types of things early in the season. Defensive are always ahead. It's easier to play defensive football than offensive football in the continuity of it. So lack of playing time, change our whole ideology. The regular season, 17 games, but yes, really only 13.
How many padded practices you get now?
I don't know the number, but it's kept during the season, and it's almost as if you can have 1 padded practice per week.
What did you used to have?
Oh, man, we're padded Tuesdays. We're padded Wednesdays and Thursdays, and shells or shorts on Friday.
Got it.
But a week. But that was after 5 weeks of training camp of
Correct.
2-a-days, too.
Correct.
So, no, we got a lot
And
more.
you were contact.
Yes. Oh,
And
yeah,
they're
absolutely.
not.
No.
So the NFL, as great as they are, the machine knows that the first 4 weeks we're going to give you football. It ain't going to be what you're going to see. These guys are all trying to figure it out.
And we don't want our marquee guys. We have seen too many quarterbacks hurt the last 4 years.
But there's also a lot of guys got hurt already.
Well, that's the first 2 weeks of the season. You got to build that in there. When you run the car on the track the first time, guess what? You're going to blow a couple tires.
Especially some of them cars.
Yes.
Because they're high-end cars.
Yes.
Yeah, they go.
That's what you see. A lot of soft tissue injuries.
Yeah.
Achilles, hamstrings, growing. Yes.
Plus, and again, guys that it's so early, like you said. If you 1-1, you're going to be okay.
Yes,
you ain't going to
absolutely.
put Christian McCaffrey out there to get hurt in week 3.
Now, that's an Achilles also.
Yeah.
They got a huge investment in him. Achilles and calf. Definitely have to baby those types of injuries. But those things are real in this new NFL.
So Aaron Rodgers, I didn't even know that. I mean, it makes sense, man, how much these cost. Aaron Rodgers, when he got hurt last year, Jets paid him $37 million.
Mm-hmm.
But then they could have taken out an insurance policy on him for about $1 million, $1.2 million, whatever it was, to cover $22 million of it at his age, his whole deal. They chose not to do that, so they ate all that money. Do they do that for quarterbacks? They do that for skill players, wide receiver, running back? What is that typically with a GM? Who gets insured?
Well, I think that the younger players definitely get insured, and guys that have multi-year deals. Now, when you get a hired gun like Aaron Rodgers, they were just probably thinking he's only going to play 1 or 2 years. So Aaron doesn't have a great history of getting hurt.
Yeah.
And if they were looking at it as a 1-year deal, which Aaron might have verbalized that, like, hey, let's just do this for 1 year, and then we'll see. I can understand them taking that type of risk on a guy that hadn't had a lot of long-term injuries throughout his career. He's been very, very healthy, and especially if you're looking at it to be a one-year deal.
Correct.
So it's not, insubordination.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Why they wouldn't spend $1 million or $2 million.
I mean, it's not as if Woody John like they need the money.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
so
I take $22 million no matter where I'm at, what I'm doing.
Right. Yes. So I know your point.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's only going to cost you that. It's an insurance policy
$500,000 after taxes.
On the worst thing.
Yes.
Four plays into the season, the worst thing happened.
He's older, but it was.
I'm sure his bow tie, Mr. Johnson, got tight.
Yeah, that was not a good day.
I'm sure it got tight.
It was not a good day. I'd have spent $1 million. I'll tell you that right now. I'd have spent $1 million. NIL. Well, first I want to ask this. I was listening to Deion say the other day. He was going at some of the media, and he said, "Remember when y'all never used to criticize collegiate players? Remember that?" And then he paused, and then he said, "And now they're making more money than a lot of y'all, so you feel like you need to criticize them because you're jealous." First of all, and then he talked about personally, and then he said it's okay to do it personally. First of all, was there some kind of unwritten rule in college football that the media didn't criticize y'all?
They're amateurs.
I got that.
We shouldn't be criticizing them like we should not expect to see on Saturday what we expect to see on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, we need to know the difference. Like, the whole deal, what's happening on Saturday, the pomp and pageantry, guys trying to build their careers and everything, compared to guys being paid at the highest level to the best in the world. Like, because of NIL, we forgot most of these kids in college are not going to play in the pros.
Correct.
So we don't even put them under that type of pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I understand what Deion is saying, but some of the things Deion's saying I totally disagree with. Mm-hmm. And the thing that now they're making money and people are jealous, no, it's now that they have crossed over on that they're making money.
Correct.
And they're supposed to be providing
they're
a service.
Amateurs, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that way anymore. Mm-hmm. And Deion, you don't treat them the same way anymore either.
Correct, yeah. You definitely understand the whole, yeah.
Okay, so it's not that. Now, you might have a criticism, but let's keep that where it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these kids still are amateurs.
Correct.
And even though they're making money like no one's ever made before in college football, that's the new system.
Correct.
But we still shouldn't be going after kids making it personal now because they're making money when all these coaches been making money in college football, for years and everything, and we didn't personally go after them. We basically critiqued them for what they did on the field.
Yeah, and I think he was whatever. I don't even know what he was alluding to personally, but he's like, you can't be doing this to kids personally. And I first of all, and again, I've always remembered what you said to me about talent and what obligation comes with talent, right? Like, okay, you got this talent, because I'm still at my core a guy where if you're playing and he's screaming at you and telling you to, fuck off and you suck, in my mind, number one, that's not okay. And number two, there should be accountability for what you say in life. And number three, that if you want to say that, then you should be willing to stand up to the person that says it to you, which I know is not the way it works. I get all that. So I'm still like, even when I go to college games, I'm blown away at, and I almost wish, and I don't want to go back to our first, but I almost wish there was more accountability, because here's what happens. That same kid that gets drunk in the game and screams at a player, when he goes to the bar and he forgets he's not in the stands, and he says something stupid to somebody who didn't play, and that dude fucking drops him, and he's like, I didn't know, like, I guess as many games as I've been to, and as many times I'd heard people just lose their God-blessed minds.
Yes.
And I still think that I'm just not, I've never, you know what I mean? Like, and I'll all the time be like, no, I know. You're like, he sucks. Like, bro.
I've had people yelling at me my whole life, man.
Yeah.
And I just laugh.
I know you do. And
I always turn around and make it a conversation.
I know you do. I've seen you do it.
They're like, Carter, you suck. I was like, man, I'm okay. First of all, First of all, you don't believe that.
Yeah.
All right? You don't really, really believe that. And check this out. You paid to be in that seat.
Yes.
I'm being paid to be down here because I'm good. Now, who's the fool?
Correct.
Because I just make it very, very basic.
Correct.
Like that's
you can't mess with that economic theory. You can't argue that economic.
so.
Theory.
So then after that, like I just laugh.
Yeah.
I make sure that the people that have come, and especially people that have reserved seats behind the visiting team, like, okay, I'm going to be a professional heckler.
Here's why I'm here.
No problem. I'm a professional football player. And guess what's never? You're not getting ready to sit here and do that to me.
But also, when you turn around and say something, make it a conversation, the majority of the time, I'm assuming it pulls all the wind out of everything. The gas out the fire.
Yeah, when we were at Michigan State
I heard
with FAU, you heard, but also there was the student section, and I was down there tossing up one of the footballs and everything, and the kids had been harassing me for a couple hours and everything. So this is the time when I hauled back and like I was getting ready to drill the ball and hit the kid, and the first thing the kid did was like, ah!
Yeah, just like that.
And I was like, oh yeah, old tough guy, you've been tough for 2 hours.
Yeah,
I'm getting ready to throw a football.
Liquid courage. You drunk and now you afraid.
Yeah. So
I mean, I think it's hysterical. You know what I mean? And even I was laughing with him. I was like. And every once in a while I turn around, I'm like, bro, don't scream at me. I'm just walking the sidelines.
Yeah.
Like, I have nothing holding me back from coming up in the stands. I ain't playing or coaching.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It was nice. It was. I was able to work on some new material and everything.
I like it.
The kid was like, "Hey, Mr. Carr, you got a bald spot." I was like, "Yeah." So does your dad. And based on I was at the house last night, so does your mom.
See, that's how you mess them up. You can't argue with that. And then everybody around him's laughing.
Oh, they were really laughing. Yeah. And then I came back later on, and the guy was like, "Carter, you suck," and everything. I was like, "Man, I'm old enough to be your dad. Matter of fact, I could be your dad." And then I was like, "No, I couldn't, because your mom, she's not cute enough." The kids were like, "Ooh." Then I went down to the other and just let that marinate for a while.
Let them do their thing. But to Deion's, but you're right. Like at some point in time, dude, you.
And I do think the economics of it is totally different. If you are at a college game, you are not paying for the salary of those players to be there.
Correct.
All right? They're amateurs, and you're a fan supporting them, supposedly. Now, if you go to an NFL game, you are actually making a contribution to the NFL economy.
Correct.
So you are actually affecting the player's salary as it goes up and the salary cap goes up. Well, so when I go to a professional game, I expect people to expect a professional performance.
Correct.
So I expect fans to complain if it is not professional. Myles Garrett, Cleveland, he said, "What do you think about the fans booing?" They should have. We were not that good.
Yeah.
This is pro football. We are supposed to entertain, and we're supposed to win. That's what we get paid to do. So it's a different ballgame.
Well, and to that point, Tennessee. Now, Tennessee, the Vols, they're going to put a 10% increase on all ticket invoices, single game donations. So every ticket goes up by 4.5%. So now does Tennessee enter in? Because now they are paying. Now I'm paying more for my talent acquisition.
Right.
First of all, how do you feel about that? Is that where most colleges are going to go?
Number one, they shouldn't do that to the fan.
Got it.
Because even if you are a season ticket holder and football is the product, and you're saying, yes, I'm supporting football as we go into this next generation of football. And there's a portion of that is a huge portion. It's called NIL. Well, okay, coach, I'm going to support you, but I don't believe in NIL. But I'm going to still have my season ticket. No problem.
Okay.
You shouldn't have to pay more.
So now you're forcing me to participate in NIL.
No, you're putting a gun to my head and telling me.
Well, not that. They kick you out of the league for life.
That I have to believe in everything that you're doing from a football standpoint.
Yeah.
Even though I do want to come here and support the team. But you
want better players.
Yeah, but you shouldn't. I shouldn't be forced to participate in that.
Do you think they're gonna have pushback?
You should come at me in a different way.
I would agree with that. Do you think they're gonna push back to fans?
Yes.
You do?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think that on your tickets, you should have the option
to opt in to pay for NIL.
If you want to opt in and help us participate in NIL,
cool.
This is your opportunity. But if you don't, you still get the same seats. I guarantee you the response would have been so much more positive. And now with the NCAA, the university is supposed to be taking over NIL. So if university taking over NIL, what you coming after me for? So now you going after.
They want it from everybody.
So now they went after their people to pay the bill that they're supposed to pay.
I guess, as a fan, and again, they're good this year too. But that's a good team, right? Tennessee, good team?
Yeah, and they got a good collective. They got some good resources they paying people.
So they got that, and then decide we're going to go ahead and try to bang everybody that walks in the stadium.
And also, they're trying to take advantage of the good team that they have and the momentum of it. Because guess what happened to Florida? Guess what happened to Florida State? We was good when back then. People forgot. 12-0, 12. We forgot. How good were you?
This is the only time Tennessee.
Georgia Tech beat you, man. Memphis beat you, bro. What you talking about? You was undefeated.
Yeah. Well, and Tennessee couldn't have done that any year over the last 15 or whatever it was. They have a very good football team. So now let's see if we can cash in. And it can have the result you think that they think it's going to have. You don't think so. And you don't think other schools are going to mimic that.
You and I, on our podcast, are talking about Tennessee upping the prices to try to participate in NIL.
Yes.
And NIL is moving from the collective to the more university that they have to build.
Explain that so everybody understands that. Explain that.
Okay. Well, right now, the university can't participate in the NIL.
They can't be involved. They can't be involved as an entity.
They can't be involved as far as gathering money, soliciting people to gather money and be a part of it.
Okay.
Even though all this is happening at their front door and back door. Now the NCAA is ruling that the universities are going to be responsible for the NIL. So it's the university and the collective now are going to be walking together.
When does that start?
I think January of 2025.
Okay, so then now the university's in.
Yes.
The AD, the president, the university's
in. They got to be. University's in on NIL. So it's going to affect the number of scholarships. Is it going to be 85 or is it going to be 105? So college football continues to change and will change in the next 4 months again.
But right now, the collective, and if I ask you, Cris Carr, what's your definition of a collective?
An entity created to try to raise money for name, image, and likeness deals with the student athletes.
So some universities have their own collective, and some collectives you work with multiple universities?
Yes, there's multiple collectives that can work with the university, yes.
Got it. So they're out there everywhere.
Yes, some of them got off to the ground, got an early start. Then other people saw the business, developed their own collective. But yes, you can have multiple collectives at one institution.
Will the universities, when they run it or are they involved, will they need the collectives?
I don't know that part yet. Because I think that they're going to work hand in hand, because if they're out there already soliciting money from boosters, why would you?
Wouldn't they just pay a couple people to do what they're like, hey, come work for me, you're now my employee.
But if you're already out there and you know the landscape.
But they're keeping a percentage that you want, or do you want
I think we can work out something. I think we can work that out.
That's always your answer. We work something out.
We can work that out. We can talk about it.
We can talk about that. Yeah. All right. So Stephen A. was talking the other day about, and I was laughing because I laugh whenever somebody's talking about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. And when I say I laugh, because I didn't realize how many people really cared, like were that enamored, really honestly. First of all, I didn't know how many people followed and like cultish following the Taylor Swift out. I didn't know that, right? I didn't. That's my fault. I didn't know. And when I started realizing what she gets per ticket, I was like, oh damn! I didn't know that Miami will be sold out and it'll be a couple $1,000s per ticket. I didn't realize how massive she was. My fault.
Dog.
I know, my fault. My bad. I didn't know.
No, I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, I'm being honest. I didn't know. My stupidity, I'm admitting it.
Welcome to the party.
I'm glad I'm here. It's been around for a while. I just joined. I just got here, okay? Now, that's NFL, the entity. Mm-hmm. Travis Kelce's had a slow start? Or is it just early? Or
I mean, it's still early. Like, if we had these...
Do you think this is going to affect the way he can play football the rest of the year? Do you think this whole Taylor Swift, all the other shit he's going to do, is he not going to be the player he's been?
No.
Okay, they don't matter at all.
No, Travis is
He's
the deal.
fine. Travis is good. He's going to handle his business.
He started last year, and you win different ways. And Andy Reid, and you can see, last year, Travis was their best receiver. Like, they needed him to be a number one receiver. This year, sometimes they would need him to be decoy, blocker. But at this point in Travis' career, they just gave him some more money. Like, no. What I'm trying to say is that every player, and this is something I mastered, every player has the same time to prepare. And no one was going to spend more time preparing and focused on their body or on the game plan than the opposition more than me.
Okay.
How could I control that? Because I knew how much time the opposition had. And when you have these other things in your life, they start to take away from the time you spend at the main thing.
Correct.
And
The main thing might not be the main thing.
And when you go through 10 years of playing the National Football League and you are single, and now you're married to, or you're
But you might as well be.
Excuse me.
And
You
married.
are in a serious relationship.
A monogamous relationship.
I mean,
Real one.
serious.
Yeah.
Like, this dude couldn't go nowhere, man. This dude couldn't try to step out. This dude couldn't do nothing.
Not
Woo!
anywhere in the world. Not anywhere in the world.
He has so many FBI undercover police looking at him. So many phones would be on him, bro. Like,
Yeah.
so that's a different type of pressure in life. Now, I do believe that Travis is cut out for it.
Okay.
But also, the time that he does have, because as you get older, football becomes easier. You can become uber focused in a shorter period of time,
Okay.
especially when you've been running the same system.
Yeah.
And the trigger man happened
And
to be
you got Mahomes.
that dude with the curly hair.
Yeah, you got Mahomes. Yeah, it changes the whole world for you.
Yes. And Travis has the ability to ad lib in this offense like nobody ever. And Kelsey and Andy Reid, this just used to drive him crazy when Kelsey was a younger player. But Patrick Mahomes has gone on record saying, I don't know what he's going to run sometime. I'm holding the ball like, what's he going to do? Oh, shoot, he did that.
Hit it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they work it out.
But he's that good.
He's that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
He's
He deserves this.
good for him.
I really hope this works out for him.
Well, hey, we're all going to know if it does or it doesn't.
No, it's going to
Every
be
one of us in the
like
world
a
is gonna know.
if it doesn't, it's going to be
Oh.
like a 3-album
At least
get back at him.
He's gonna
Yeah, not 3 songs, 3
then,
albums.
Then he'll be loose.
Yes.
Then he'll be on the loose.
Yeah.
All right, last thing, because I got to know your opinion on it. And again, I was laughing, listening to everybody talk about it and pontificate about it and the whole thing. This whole P. Diddy thing. Where are you looking at? You leave me? You leave me?
No, I'm just
Are you gathering your thoughts?
I'm just glad in life.
You should be glad in life. You have a good life.
I'm just saying in life, sometimes you and I on the record have made very, very poor decisions.
100%.
But man, I'm so glad that some of the stuff
Me too.
that I was not attracted to.
Me too. On so many
Some of the
different levels.
stuff that I just saw and was like, something, that ain't me.
No, not at all.
But go ahead with your questioning.
Thank you for that. I appreciate
to clear the air
I,
before.
I appreciate you clearing that preamble. It is, and I think Stephen A. was talking about this. He was interviewing somebody the other day, the attorney. And I think for me, I'm watching stuff, and everybody's talking all the time. And the first time somebody brought it to me is when 50 Cent put something on. I was like, dude, he seems to know a lot of stuff, so who knows what's going to happen. But when he was denied bail, even though he offered up the world, obviously I was like, oh, shit, like he's in a lot of trouble. Is this, and I don't mean I know what you not interested, I know who you are as a human being, but dude, are there a lot of people out there right now, when I say in that world, that hung out in that world, that are entertainers, that are whatever, that are sitting there going like this, they're thinking, man, I might have been attracted to some of that stuff, and I hope my name don't come up. Like, are there a lot of nervous people, or is this just P. Diddy and a few people? You're hypothesizing, but what are your thoughts?
Even as you said that, my heart changed and rapidly just started beating, just thinking about
Yeah.
Man, when the feds come
Yeah.
for you
Yeah.
and they start talking about human trafficking,
Yeah.
and they talking about, it's amazing these idiots all want to record it.
Everything.
Now, I mean, ain't nothing wrong with being a little freaky in your own private confines with your own special person.
Correct. One, that you didn't traffic.
But
that
man,
is an
you
adult.
trying to record all this?
Because you're just that above everything. You're that delusional. You're that narcissistic. Like nothing can ever get you.
Yeah, and just every day the information gets worse and worse. And now, I started hearing about the time that the video with Cassidy was at that hotel.
Yeah.
Based on the rumor, the reason why she left there was because she was being forced to have sex with someone else who was there, not on camera, against her will. Now, bruh, he definitely won't see the light of day.
They're going to get what they deserve. Yeah, he is definitely not going to. Dude, you think about some of the people that have gotten out on bail.
You know what this is? It's a pure sign, too, that everyone does not need to be famous. Mm-hmm. And everyone does not need money. Well, why would you say that, Cris? Because this is what I do know. That money, it never changes people. Mm-hmm. It doesn't. It just enhances, accentuates everything that you have, good or bad. Mm-hmm. And what you saw was that money just enhanced him to do what he wanted to do.
And he did it for a long time and got away with it for a long time.
They turned their heads, and I can understand, man. You could do whatever you want on the private confines of your house. But, oh, man.
There's a lot of nervous people out there.
I mean,
and they should be.
This is just the beginning.
I know.
And the reason why this is different than the other sex trafficking cases, Harvey Weinstein and
Epstein,
my man in Palm Beach, and Maxwell.
Yeah.
Maxwell and Epstein, they were together because she was helping coordinate a lot of this. So there was no racketeering and stuff. There was wasn't getting an advantage from a business standpoint.
No.
All pleasure stuff. Now, this case, they talked about he turned this into a criminal enterprise. So I know he likes Florida, and a lot of reasons why a lot of people like Florida is because if you buy a house here, they can't take it from you. Oh no, that's off the table.
Yeah, they definitely taking that from you.
Because they can ready to take all his money.
Yeah, you do that, it's all gone.
They can ready to take all of his money.
It's all gone.
Because the business benefited from all this criminal enterprise. That's the thing that's way different in this. And so in determining this as criminal enterprise, that means that there's more people. I mean, if you were on staff.
Oh, yeah. You turned your back, you facilitated it, you made a phone call, you brought him in.
Oh, absolutely.
You shut the door, you locked it, you helped pay him off.
And they said one of the reasons why that he was denied bail was the judge went back and read the texts that he had to Cassidy when she left. And he was telling her, but I'm going to kill you.
Yep.
So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
How long you been hearing this?
I mean, the Diddy thing, really going back to Tupac and all that.
Really?
Yeah. People thought he had it coming.
Oh, he got it. He got it. It's coming.
Man, what do you think about the mayor of New York last year? A year ago, they gave him the key to the city.
Yeah.
Ain't that the damnedest thing? Bruh.
Bruh.
Yeah, real, bruh.
I know.
Mary Adams, bruh.
I know. Yeah.
Like, what was you trying to accomplish?
Like, what are you thinking? Who knows? Who knows who's in there? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Look, right now, if you're in the record business, you can't resign. You can't go on vacation.
No, no, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, right.
You might go where they send you.
Right.
The feds will be at your house next. So
yeah, it's bad. Man, it's gonna get ugly.
it is going to be really ugly, and we will be here to talk about it and figure it out. I love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Cris Carter, thank you, my man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. Keep crushing this week.
See you
Keep
next week.
doing your thing. We'll see you all next week. Like, subscribe, share, send to somebody. Get it out there.
Let's
Don't want to
get it.
miss you. Appreciate y'all.